Most people think they know which martial arts techniques actually work in a street fight. But the truth is far more uncomfortable. The best moves aren't the flashy ones or even the ones you train the most. The best moves are the ones that survive chaos, the ones that still work when the ground is uneven, when someone is grabbing your clothes, when your heart is racing, and when everything feels out of control. Before we go any further, tell me something important in the comments. Which city are you watching from? Because street fights look very different depending on where you live, and understanding your environment can change everything. And stay with me until the end, because the most important move, the one that actually saves lives, isn't what most people think. In fact, it's the opposite of what most martial artists expect. Now, let's talk about what truly makes a strike effective when the street turns violent. When people talk about the best strikes for a street fight, they usually imagine power, big punches, spinning kicks, knockout blows. But real street violence doesn't work that way. The moves that matter aren't the ones that look strong, they're the ones that stay reliable when everything around you becomes unstable. Because a street fight has one rule: nothing goes as planned. Your heart is pounding, your vision is narrowing, your adrenaline is spiking so hard your hands are shaking, and the ground beneath you might be slippery, uneven, or covered in obstacles you don't even notice until you trip over them. In that kind of chaos, the strikes that succeed share one thing in common. They are simple enough to work under extreme stress, even when your fine motor skills fall apart. You don't need complicated timing. You don't need perfect balance. You don't need the ideal stance you've practiced in the gym. What you need is a strike that your body can deliver instantly, almost automatically, even when you're scared, tired, or reacting on instinct. And that's where many martial artists get surprised. Because the moves they've trained for years, the ones that feel sharp and powerful in class, suddenly feel slow, awkward, or even dangerous when used outside. Take a high kick, for example. In the gym? Beautiful. In the street? Risky. If you slip, miss, or get grabbed, the fight ends badly and fast. Even a big hook punch, if thrown with full rotation, can leave you off balance if the ground shifts under your feet or if the attacker rushes in unexpectedly. This is why the most functional street strikes share these characteristics. 1. They're short and direct. Short strikes require less movement, less wind-up, and less balance, making them more reliable when space is limited. 2. They use natural body mechanics. If a move matches the way your body naturally reacts under stress, it becomes faster and harder to stop. 3. They work even when you're grabbed, pushed, or overwhelmed. A good street strike needs to survive interruptions, sudden pressure, and unpredictable movement. 4. They require little to no setup. The moment you prepare, you lose time, and on the street, time is everything. It's not about strength. It's not about form. It's about what your body can produce without thinking. Because when the fight feels overwhelming, your brain shuts down anything complex. Your body falls back to instinctive, simple actions. And the strikes that work best are the ones built on instinct. But there's something deeper that separates an okay street strike from a truly reliable one, a detail that's invisible in the gym but becomes crucial the moment someone tries to overwhelm you. And that's exactly what we're going to uncover next. When the fight becomes chaotic, when someone grabs your clothes, rushes into you, or swings wildly long, wide, or fancy strikes fall apart instantly. They need space. They need balance. They need timing. And the street gives you none of that. This is why the most reliable strikes in a real confrontation are the short, direct ones, the moves that explode from close range and don't require perfect footwork or clean angles. These strikes don't look impressive in training videos. They don't earn applause in a ring, but they work when it matters. 1. The straight punch, jab, or cross. Simple, fast, direct. It doesn't require a big wind-up, and you can throw it even when someone is in your face. A straight punch cuts through chaos better than a looping punch because it takes the shortest path from your body to the target. It's also harder for an untrained attacker to see coming. When done under pressure, it's not meant to knock someone out, it's meant to create space, stun, or interrupt their advance. 2. Palm strike. This is one of the safest and most effective strikes you can use outside the gym. It protects your knuckles, reduces the risk of injuring your own hand, and delivers force with minimal effort. A palm strike to the chin, jawline, or nose can disrupt an attacker's balance instantly. And because it doesn't require precision, it works even when your vision is narrowing from stress. 3. Short elbows. Elbows are incredibly powerful in tight spaces, hallways, bars, crowded areas, anywhere movement is restricted. They're hard to block, hard to see, and devastating at close range. You don't need to swing big. A small twist of the hips or shoulders is enough. For quick knee strikes. A short knee to the thigh or midsection can shock an attacker into loosening their grip. Knees are natural, instinctive, and work even when someone is trying to control your upper body. 5. Hammer fist. If you lose your balance, if you slip, or if someone tackles you forward, a hammer fist becomes a lifesaver. It uses a durable part of your hand and can be thrown from almost any position. What makes all these strikes powerful isn't their damage, it's their reliability. On the street, reliability beats everything. A fancy spinning kick might work once in 1,000 tries. A short elbow works in almost every close-range encounter. But here's the catch. Even these simple high-percentage strikes can fail completely if you overlook one crucial detail, a detail that almost nobody talks about. Because in a real fight, the distance between you and the attacker changes constantly, and when that distance disappears, everything becomes a different battle entirely. And that's exactly where we're going next. No matter how you imagine a street fight, the distance between you and the attacker almost always collapses faster than you expect. 1 second you're trading strikes, and the next, the person is grabbing your clothes, charging forward, or trying to drag you into a wall or the ground. When that distance disappears, your ability to throw punches or kicks drops dramatically, but something else becomes incredibly powerful. Clinch strikes. Clinch strikes are the tools you use when the fight becomes suffocatingly close. When you can smell the other person's breath, feel their weight, and barely move your arms. And in that chaos, the most effective moves aren't elegant, they're primal. 1. The short elbow in the pocket. In tight spaces, elbows are the king. You don't need room, you don't need big motion, and you don't need perfect balance. A short elbow across the face or jaw can stun, disorient, or even break structure long enough for you to create space. And space is survival. 2. The quick knee to the body or thigh. A sudden knee to the stomach or leg can shock someone instantly. If they're grabbing your shirt or jacket, a knee is one of the few strikes they can't easily stop, and it forces their body backward, giving you the chance to escape. Even a knee to the inner thigh can be enough to break their momentum. 3. The collar tie and head control. This isn't about wrestling technique, it's about emergency control. A hand behind the attacker's head lets you manage their posture and prevent them from charging into you or headbutting you unexpectedly. It also sets up knees and short elbows naturally. 4. The shoulder bump or forearm frame. These may not look like strikes, but in a real fight they work like them. A hard shoulder bump to the chest or jaw can knock someone off balance. A forearm frame across the neck keeps them from smothering you. These movements protect your breathing space, a detail most people ignore until they're overwhelmed. 5. The groin shot in emergency situations. It's not honorable. It's not pretty. But in a real fight where someone is grabbing you aggressively, a fast knee or palm strike to the groin can instantly break their grip. You're not trying to win. You're trying to survive. Clinch strikes matter because they work when everything else falls apart. When punches are smothered. When kicks are useless. When space is gone. But even clinch strikes have a limit, and this is where many martial artists freeze. Because when panic rises, when pressure increases, when the attacker is too close, too strong, or too chaotic, your offense stops mattering. Your defense becomes everything. And that shift from attack to survival leads directly into the next crucial part. Most people think of strikes only as offensive moves, punches, elbows, kicks. But on the street, some of the most important strikes you'll ever throw aren't meant to hit hard. They're meant to protect your head, regain control, and keep you standing long enough to escape. Because when the fight becomes too fast, too chaotic, or too close to predict, pure offense stops being the priority. Survival becomes the priority. And survival starts with smart defense. 1. The high guard cover. This isn't a boxing guard. It's simpler, rougher, and built for chaos. Hands up, forearms tight to the head, chin down, elbows tucked. This cover won't block everything perfectly, but it absorbs wild swings, protects you from looping punches, and keeps you conscious long enough to react. Untrained attackers swing big. Your cover stops the big swings. And when you protect your head, you protect your ability to think. 2. The forearm shield. When someone rushes forward, grabbing your clothes or trying to overwhelm you with pressure, your forearm becomes a shield. Press it across their collarbone, neck, or jaw. This creates space, and space keeps you from being smothered. A defensive frame isn't pretty, but it interrupts momentum better than most punches. It also protects you from accidental headbutts, which are extremely common in street fights and far more dangerous than people realize. 3. The redirect step. Defense doesn't always mean blocking. Sometimes it means not being where the attack is going. A small step to the side, even half a step, can make a huge difference when someone charges with their entire body weight. It's not about style, it's about letting their momentum pass you instead of crushing you. If you stay planted, you take the hit. If you shift your angle, you stay in control. 4. The defensive strike. Palm strike reset. This is the strike people forget, the one that keeps you alive. It's not meant to knock someone out. It's meant to reset the fight. A quick palm strike to the face creates distance. It interrupts their advance. It forces a reaction. And more importantly, it buys you time. Time to breathe. Time to reposition. Time to escape. 5. Protecting your balance above all else. In the gym, falling is safe. On the street, falling is a disaster. Glass, concrete, metal edges, more attackers, weapons you didn't see. Defense keeps you on your feet. And staying on your feet is the foundation of survival. Everything in this part leads to one truth. If you lose control, you lose options. And the person with the fewest options is always the one in danger. But control doesn't come from trading blows. It comes from one specific action, the most important move in the entire video. A move that isn't about strength, isn't about technique, and isn't about hurting someone. It's the move that actually saves lives. And that's where we're heading next. After all the strikes, all the techniques, and all the chaos we've explored, there's one move that stands above everything else. One action that decides who escapes safely, who avoids injury, and who keeps control when the street turns violent. And here's the twist. It's not a punch. It's not a kick. It's not an elbow, knee, or choke. The most important move in a street fight, the move that actually saves lives, is this. Creating distance. Distance is what keeps you out of reach. Distance is what makes weapons harder to use. Distance is what exposes multiple attackers. Distance is what gives you the chance to escape. Distance is what keeps you alive. Without distance, every strike becomes a gamble. With distance, every decision becomes clearer. But creating distance isn't just about stepping backward. On the street, that rarely works. You need something faster, something that interrupts the attacker's momentum. And that's where the real best strike reveals itself. 1. The separation palm strike. Not a knockout. Not a power shot. Just a sharp, explosive push-off strike to the jaw, nose, or chest. It's the move that buys you a second. 1 second to breathe. 1 second to reposition. 1 second to escape. A second is all you need. 2. The lateral step out. Stepping straight back can get you chased. But stepping sideways breaks the attacker's line. It forces them to turn, reorient, and lose momentum, giving you a window to disengage completely. One small angle can change the entire outcome. 3. The frame and flee technique. A forearm across the collarbone or jaw creates a barrier they must fight through. It's not forceful, it's strategic. That frame gives you the opportunity to slip away before they grab you again. Distance gives you options. Options give you survival. Why distance is the real best strike? Because no matter what martial art you practice, boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, every one of them loses power when there are multiple attackers. There's a hidden weapon. You're unbalanced. You slip. Someone grabs your clothes. Or you're overwhelmed. But distance? Distance defeats all of that. It turns the fight back into a problem you can solve. It transforms panic into strategy. It turns chaos into opportunity. And most importantly, it gives you the chance to walk away. Because you're not fighting to win. You're fighting to live. At the end of the day, the best martial arts move for a street fight isn't the most powerful or the most impressive. It's the one that protects your future. Every punch, elbow, and knee helps, but nothing matters more than gaining space, creating clarity, and choosing the moment to escape. When you understand that survival is the real goal, everything changes. Your decisions become smarter. Your reactions become faster. Your mindset becomes stronger. Real strength isn't about impact. It's about choosing the move that keeps you alive. And the moment this principle sinks in, you become someone much harder to hurt, not because you hit harder, but because you think clearer.